Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're zeroing in on something pretty fundamental, really, for creativity, for progress, inspiration.
Mhm.
We'll be looking at it through, well, the Vietnamese term "come" and, its English counterpart.
Right. And we've got some interesting sources lined up, blog posts, a news article, even dictionary definitions.
Exactly. The plan is to really dig into this whole idea, this multifaceted concept, and hopefully give you some concrete ways to maybe spark a bit more of it in your own life.
Sounds good. It's fascinating just starting with the term itself, come hung.
Yeah.
Well, according to one of our sources, Blog Tanan, it really translates quite closely to inspiration. They call it um, a deep, diverse concept, really crucial for creative life.
A driving force, kind of,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. The key to unlocking ideas, emotions, artworks, that sort of thing.
Okay. So, more than just a quick idea then. Cambridge Dictionary defines inspiration as, something giving you ideas or a sudden good idea.
It is that, but
Yeah.
Kumhang, at least according to the blog, might go a bit deeper. They describe it as a specific psychological or emotional state, something that really motivates creation or action.
Ah, okay. So there's an emotional component there.
Definitely. And the origin is interesting, too. Apparently it comes from Chinese, meaning to evoke strong emotions
Right.
that then lead to new creative ideas. So it's
Hmm.
rooted in feeling, you could say.
That makes sense. Emotion leading to creation.
Mm.
And what about its nature? Is it predictable?
Not at all. Apparently, that's a key characteristic highlighted by Blog to Men. It's unexpectedness that can just
Mm.
pop up from surprising situations, art, quiet moments in nature. You
Hmm.
can't really schedule.
So you just have to be open to it when it arrives.
Pretty much. And it often brings this feeling that they call it sublimation,
Sublimation, like lifting you up.
sort of, helping you overcome psychological barriers, push past your limits, achieve something. Well, excellent.
That's powerful, not just feeling good, but actually breaking through things.
Exactly. And it's not just for artists, you know?
Right. Blog 2 mentioned that.
Yeah, they stress it's for everyone. Work, study,
Hmm.
daily life. It helps with self-discovery, creativity in general, improving quality of life.
And Bao Punkate agrees.
Uh-huh. They call it a special psychological state, intense emotion, strong attraction, making imagination and creativity more effective.
So, a real catalyst.
Definitely.
And it seems this idea, this feeling, it's pretty universal, right? Blog 2 listed translations.
Yeah, into like 12 languages, English, French, Spanish, German, all inspiration, or very close.
And even Russian, Chinese, Japanese, Korean.
Arabic, Thai, Hindi. The core concept seems to resonate everywhere. Suggests it's a fundamental human thing.
It really does. Though Cambridge Dictionary also notes inspiration can be someone you admire.
True, or even breathing in biology.
Huh, right. But the main meaning lines up well with kamhungi, that spark, that drive.
Exactly, the wellspring of ideas and the urge to act.
Okay, so we've got a feel for what it is, but where does it actually come from? What are the sources?
Well, Bao points to the traditional ones first. Beautiful nature,
Sunrises, moonlight, birdsong,
the
the
classics.
things artists often turn to. Yes.
But then,
But then they bring in this really interesting counterpoint, a philosopher, Edward Moore.
huh?
He apparently found the source of great writing not in beauty, but in, well, hardship, poverty, destitution.
Wow, okay. That's quite different.
Perfect.
So beauty or difficulty?
Seems like it. Maybe it's about the strength of the emotional response, awe at beauty, or maybe deep empathy from suffering.
That makes sense. The article mentions personal empathy too, right? Connecting with others with causes,
Yeah,
sparking a desire to help.
exactly. That humanitarian impulse. It's a powerful inspiration.
Like the example of the war veteran.
Yeah, inspiring a musician to write a lasting song overnight. Real life experiences, especially intense ones, can be incredibly potent sources. Okay, let's shift gears slightly. What about practical ways to find it, especially, say, at work? Unitrain had some ideas.
They did. Things like creating a more inspiring workspace. Decorations, light, color, making it a place you want to be creative in.
And doing things you actually like.
Yes, connecting with your interests, also challenging yourself, stepping up, seeking growth.
Pushing boundaries a bit.
Right. And of course, the basics. Exercise, taking proper breaks, looking after your physical and mental well-being.
That always comes up, doesn't it? And expanding relationships.
Yeah, getting new perspectives from different people, socially, professionally.
And even using the internet during breaks. Carefully, I imagine.
Ah, yes. selectively. Not falling down a rabbit hole, but maybe finding interesting articles or images.
And they're sort of ultimate advice.
Being willing to make a big change.
Yeah.
Like if the job just isn't working, maybe change jobs.
That's a big step, but sometimes necessary, I guess.
It can be. And I Volunteer Vietnam had a list too, right? 10 ways.
Yeah, quite a few. Some overlap, like nature walks, but also yoga, meditation,
Quieting the mind.
drawing, coloring, listening to talks like TED Talk,
Getting external input.
reading new blogs, trying new hobbies, teaching someone else,
Daring knowledge.
appreciating people, volunteering. There's that empathy again. And interestingly, digital detox time.
Taking a break from the noise. Yeah, it's a really broad range, isn't it?
It really shows inspiration isn't just one thing. It can come from anywhere, almost.
From outside, from inside, from activity, from stillness. The key seems to be staying open.
Okay, openness is key. But let's talk about motivation for a second. It often gets confused with inspiration, right?
Very often, Blog Today makes a point of distinguishing them. Come hung versus done luck motivation.
So what's the core difference they highlight?
Well, they say come hung inspiration is more that state of mental excitement. It sparks the idea. Often short-lived, unpredictable, comes from outside.
That's
right. Whereas ong luck motivation is the power that keeps you going towards a goal. It's more stable, comes from inside, from your own desires or needs.
Okay, so inspiration starts it, motivation sustains it.
That's a good way to think about it. Their example was a musician. Here's a great song, feels inspired to compose, that's come hung.
Got it.
But having the goal to release an album and working towards it every day, that's unluck.
Right, the ongoing fuel. Noranon.vn had something similar.
Yes, they echoed that. Motivation often internal, intentional. Inspiration more external, spontaneous.
And motivation can be driven by rewards, recognition.
While inspiration is more that internal buzz, that excitement.
And a Tukhan on Noran.vn had that great analogy. Motivation pushes you,
Yeah, with a sense of effort sometimes, maybe even resistance.
whereas inspiration pulls you.
Exactly. With excitement, enthusiasm, less resistance, more flow.
That distinction feels really useful. Knowing whether you need a spark or sustained energy.
Definitely. And while inspiration can be sudden, its effects, the passion it ignites, can sometimes last longer than a short-term motivation.
So if we want more of that pull, that kung, how do we cultivate it? Any specific tips?
Unitrain went back to the workspace idea, making it stimulating with decorations, light, color.
Setting the stage, basically.
Yeah. And connecting your work to your bigger interests and goals. Finding the meaning in it.
That makes sense. If you care about the outcome, you're more likely to feel inspired along the way.
Precisely. And actively seeking challenges, like we mentioned before, growth opportunities.
Stepping outside the comfort zone again.
Plus, the physical and mental well-being stuff. Exercise, breaks, foundational.
And networking. Meeting new people.
Still important, yes. Getting fresh perspectives, using breaks well, maybe browsing online mindfully.
And again, that willingness to consider big changes if things are truly stagnant.
Right. Don't just stay stuck if inspiration is consistently absent.
Vietnam Works came at it slightly differently, focusing on reflection.
Yeah, more on uncovering passion first, which they see as tightly linked to inspiration.
How do they suggest doing that?
By thinking about what you truly enjoy, what feels fulfilling. Identifying your core values, your strengths, your talents.
Really knowing yourself.
Exactly. And then focusing on those things you like, deliberately trying new things, building self-belief.
It sounds like passion provides the fertile ground for inspiration to grow.
That's a great way to put it. And I Volunteer Vietnam adds the importance of good habits, applying passion daily, actively seeking new inspiration, and believing in yourself.
It's an ongoing process then, not a one-off fix.
Absolutely. Nurturing it constantly.
Okay, but what about when it just dries up? That feeling of being stuck, buttuck, as one source called it.
Yes, the creative block. That article, How to Escape Stalemate, tackled this.
What did it say? Is it common?
Very common. And feeling isolated makes it worse. Interestingly, they reckon external factors are only about 10% of the problem.
Really? So it's mostly internal.
Seems so. Which, as you said, is kind of empowering. Means we can do something about it.
So what are the strategies?
Well, first, simplify. Adjust your approach. Don't feel you have to start over completely.
Okay, small tweaks.
Generate lots of ideas, quantity over quality initially. Just get them out there. Experiment.
Try weird things.
Maybe. And navigate the messy middle. Break big goals down into smaller steps. Avoid overwhelm.
Manageable chunks.
And
Makes
motivate.
sense.
And finally, aim for excellence, not perfection. Perfectionism is a major killer of creativity,
Yeah,
right?
definitely. That resonates. Bio and Cott mentioned Batak, too.
Uh-huh. They emphasize willpower and inner peace to find new inspiration when facing difficulties. Resilience, basically.
Resilience seems key, and this all links back to passion, doesn't it?
It really does. Vietnam Works defines passion as that enthusiasm, that zeal for a meaningful goal, willingness to put in the effort, make sacrifices.
And they see it as vital for finding direction, success.
Absolutely. But they also note the challenges to finding it.
Like being too busy.
Yeah, or apathy, complacency, chasing unrealistic passions, lacking creativity. It's not always easy.
And the downsides of not having passion.
They paint a pretty bleak picture. Feeling lost, lacking meaning, emptiness, no motivation, boredom, losing your sense of purpose.
Oof. That really drives home its importance.
It does. And you see the connection clearly.
Yeah.
Passion fuels inspiration.
Provides the underlying drive.
Exactly. That enthusiasm makes you more receptive to inspiration, and then inspiration deepens the passion. It's a cycle.
A positive feedback loop, ideally.
That's it.
Okay, let's try and pull all of this together then. What are the main takeaways for you listening?
Well, first, inspiration, it's not just some random flash. It's really vital for creativity, motivation, well-being.
Yeah, a fundamental force. And it can come from anywhere, right?
Absolutely. Nature, quiet thought, challenges, hardship, internal, external. The big thing is being open, aware.
Cultivating that openness and understanding the difference between inspiration, the spark, and motivation, the fuel.
hmm Knowing that difference helps you figure out what you need. Are you missing the initial idea or the energy to keep going?
Right. So think about the practical tips. Can you tweak your workspace, your routines?
Revisit an old hobby maybe, or just carve out some quiet time.
Consider those questions and reflect on inspiration versus motivation and what you're doing. Where's the gap, if there is one?
It's really insightful. And maybe just remember that proverb.
From Bauertei und Kate, the German one.
Yeah, inspiration is the most beautiful name to herald something good.
That's lovely. So embrace the search for your own come hung.
Keep looking for those sparks.
Absolutely. What small thing today might just trigger something significant tomorrow? Keep that curious heart open.